Great balanced lineup for Falcons Mena.
Yeah, so you like it.
Yeah, I like it. But Ignite, I do like the Minotaur too. The range of Mena with them wanting to get close and create space. The Minotaur with a Flicker and a Minoan and Fury might just break the formation of Falcons Mena, meaning that's enough space for the Yi Sun Shin to wreak havoc. Ignite now pack the Barrets in.
So we go for the fighter off, we go for the funnel strat into the YSS. Definitely some danger here against a golden hour, against the heavy spin, against the Magic Gush. This is a composition that wants to group up on the side of Ignite, but still, it can look overwhelming. One big play in this type of composition can dominate a team fight.
Yeah, I like this Barrets, though, just for the sole purpose that it might make Boyet overthink of when he wants to use his heavy spin so that the Detonus Welcome won't affect him as much.
Ignite Gaming sees the Melissa do well. They ban it out, do the double fighter. We'll see if the burst from Clint is able to be enough for Team Falcons Mena. The panel likes it. Let's see if our casters like it as we head it over to begin our final series of the day. Ignite Gaming versus Team Falcons Mena. Let's get it going.
Thank you so much to the panel. We sent one team home earlier today for our first match of day number 3 here at MSC.
Welcome.
Now we will have to send a second team home. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. I love it. Panel likes it. I love it. I love the drafts from both these teams. I like that they're going back to just comfort, right? Not necessarily the most meta picks, but it's what they've won with, especially in their own domestic leagues.
Yeah, we don't even know how do we define the meta, honestly, at this point. So the fact that we're just seeing some of the more common picks nowadays, or at least in the past 2 days, such as the Barrets, and it's going to be in the hands of Diablo too. So that's also something I really like from IG, because finally they're playing something that's much more similar to the playstyle that we know of them.
Quick emblem check right here. Pull yourself together, ready for Cuffin. Weapon mastery for Sano as we see CS go for the lethal ignition and the Festival of Blood. Double tenacity and a whole lot of agility. And I think in this meta, even though you might not want to play these meta picks, you still need to rely a lot on that agility. Now let's talk a little bit more about Falcons Mena and IG, right? Wildcard winners, Falcons Mena. They usually do very well in the group stages of internationals. Unfortunately, this time around, sent down straight into the lower brackets. Now, IG, Singapore, they've been on a tough road. The last few internationals just bombing out of events, completely eliminated on first day, second days. And now it's time to prove that they still have it within them to contend for the knockout stage.
Yeah, and a lot of questions, right, for both of these teams, especially coming from a 0-2 sweep, a loss in their first showing previously here in the group stage, and now Falcons Mena, it seems like they're still playing a very similar game to what we saw from them in the wild card. That's why it was also pointed out in the panel earlier that it feels like they're just drafting as if we were in the wild card, but I can't blame them. This is something that's very comfortable to them, whereas IG, I think they're the ones who switched things up a bit. So now we see the Barrets and the Minotaur in their hands, and they're setting up for this first objective of the game.
Even Diablo on an enabler instead of a carry. Kelvin's waiting in that bush. It's an all-out fight for Turtle 1.
And that Diablo is very, very low, but he still finds the Detonus Welcome. Boyet secures this objective for Team Falcons Mena. Golden Hour already laid down as well, but it's CS trying to find Coven in the backline. The knock-up from Boyet and heavy spin. That's going to be first blood over to Falcons Mena, but the trade from Diablo, he actually finds Sanji too.
They keep on going here. It will be the end of the skirmish, but take a look at what Falcons Mena were able to do. Again, controlling the neutral objective with the Akai. That's number 1. But IG really just falling out to that tempo, and they don't even get the prio up top. Instead of trying to play out around this winning lane, they let it go, and Sano just got so much value out of it.
I feel like they really wanted to go in first, though. You could see how Jay just wanted to position himself, but now he is yet to get his level 4. Just got it now, and they're not really going to commit to a fight just yet, but they had no idea this was happening, but Kelvin still actually takes his purple buff. So I think it will be an unsuccessful attempt here for Boyet. Does he get bursted down here? That's going to be the question. It seems like he will be, though. That's 4 members of IG on him all alone.
And that's where you can see a little bit of that experience. Wait a second. Mystic Gush on Roy and a Flicker as well.
Oh, that's a lot.
Just a Crimson Beacon, but tendencies, habits, Brigida. Falcons Mena, if that was in the wildcard, he would have already gotten the purple buff. Unfortunately for him, the Akai got his passive completely botched in the new patch, and that's why it was still so slow for him to actually take it away. Kelvin was able to rotate, taking it in time, and we get to see the replay of it again. The retry was also just miles too early. You see a little bit of cringe.
Yeah.
Back room is like, oh God, why was it so early? A bit of panic from Boyet, perhaps.
Yeah, this could have been a bigger lead if only they were able to take away that purple buff as well. But now we're back to a very small lead in their hands. Kelvin shows up here. But Sano has no idea that even Jay is within or around the area. Troll comes up to them first, and they are going to play it safe. There's an objective upcoming down bot, and they will both make their way to this objective. All spells are actually going to be available apart from these flickers for Cuffin. So I think positioning-wise, it's going to be very crucial at this point now that it's actually Falcons Mena taking control of the Riverside. Crimson Beacon forced out of Roy. Golden Hour laid down too, but it's CS bursted down and forced to flicker out.
Looks like it's going to be free here unless Diablo is able to get in, but no chance. Boya with the red tree, and now it's Troll.
Diablo has a flicker. Detona's welcome under the turret, so he is going to be safe. But they lose out on a turtle, and they weren't able to trade anything out of that. So IG, I think this is Falcons Mena slowly getting the advantage that they want.
I think it's just a pure control, man. With the Akai, it's just very difficult for IG to come in with the Yisun Shin, and it's also just them protecting their new...
Yeah.
No one saw that. No one saw that. It's okay. Falcons Mena protecting their structures up top. Mystic Gush!
Okay, the flicker is only back for Jay just a bit, but it didn't make it. He wasn't able to survive that. Look, his flicker came back just now, and he's already taken out by Falcons Mena. So this is space for Sano. They're possibly taking this turret up top. Mystic Injunction landing onto CS, and he's bursted down too.
Okay, IG are just losing the plot here. A few resources spent. Roy's gonna be caught again. It seems like there's only been one time, one style of Crimson Beak in this game,
Yes.
and it's all defensive.
We don't really see them going in, and the few moments they do actually try, it's either there's a huge disconnect or they're just all alone. You saw it from Jay earlier on, Mystic Gush, and speaking of Jay, he had to use the flicker defensively as well. IG, there's just so much disconnect across the map, and Kelvin couldn't even handle Sanji by himself.
No, definitely not. Not against Troll in a 1v1. I thought Troll was gonna pop the golden hour, try to go for that Sokolil, but no. Kelvin's able to keep himself safe under tier 2. We gotta take a look at the emblems, or sorry, not the emblems, the battle spells, and all of it is just down because again, Falcons Mena have just been reacting to IG's plays, but they've been forcing out these battle spells, these resources, and IG, every single skirmish. It almost seems like they use their battle spells before the fight even starts, so it already puts them at a massive disadvantage.
Yeah, they gotta get back in this game. They got to sort this out. This is an elimination match you're talking about, but IG just don't seem to be playing the game that they want. Falcons Mena in control of this objective, and all they're gonna settle for is a wave up top. Not even a guaranteed turret just yet, because even Sanjay is going to deal with it by himself. So we're seeing action down bottom though. Falcons Mena, does IG respond to this?
Nope. I mean, what can they do to respond to it, right? Their clear is horrible. Like, if you look at their composition, it's a double fighter composition. It's a juice it. Oh, they go in!
Okay, Falcons Mena are gonna take another kill. Now it's CS going into the back lines. Crimson Beacon in finally from Roy, but it gets caught in the golden R. There goes Adetona's welcome for Boyet. He's brought under the turret, and he safely gets away. IG, they weren't able to take anything out of that.
Not a single person down despite everything kind of falling to what IG wanted. You know, at the start of the game, this is the team fight that you would expect for IG, that they would want to win. But they just can't. They have no damage. And again, those battle spells all taken out. Sano was able to just free hit in the back. We get to see the replay again, and it starts with Jay taken out of the skirmish way too early. It really just seems like there's just a lot of indecisive moments here where they hesitate, right? Because even for Jay, if you know you're going to die and your team's call is still to fight, you might as well pop into Mena's Fury. You die, but you get a few members knocked up.
Yeah, but also the Golden R just interrupted so much of what IG wanted to do, I feel. Because even Diablo on the Detona's welcome was kinda caught in the Golden R as well, so I feel like they were delayed to a certain extent in terms of how quick they wanted to respond to Falcons Mena and that sudden burst through the Mystic Gush. And I think that's another layer to the problem, right? Falcons Mena have reliable burst if they just really want to focus on one member, and it's always been Jay. Whereas IG, I doubt that they have the damage, as you mentioned, to actually respond to Falcons Mena at this point. So it's always just been slow and staggered team fights for IG where they don't really get to trade anything every single time.
And the slower it gets even worse for IG. Oh, they go up top, Sano.
Oh, now they want to find a target, but the golden arm might just save Sano this time. If he didn't actually go down there, I would have felt really bad for IG. Fortunately, they find him though, and now it's just gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. It's a gold for Rome. I think somehow they will be happy with that. Step by step, but a concealed play from Falcons Mena.
You definitely see just a bit of a glimpse of that brilliance of that composition. Roy gets bursted down by Cuffin. Straight up against the Panda. Face checks the bush, doesn't let Barats do it. And now Kelvin's pinned.
Okay, it's Troll and Boy. It's surrounded by Diablo and Kelvin, but Kelvin, does he want to be in the spot? I don't think he should have been there. Trace this out, but you can't run away from Sanji and Cuffin. It's Diablo left here instead, and IG, I feel like they want to do something, right? They've been trying to do something. It's always CS trying to go for these backline plays, but it doesn't work.
Oh man, that was literally the window that opened but instantly closed again. But it was shut by themselves. Falcons Mena now capitalizing on the mistakes of IG, picking up the neutral objective, not giving any space for IG to even trade on the map. Sanji goes straight into the bottom lane. That's a Lord up top, and Falcons Mena, they'll definitely learn from that mistake earlier, right? Where Sano was caught in the bad spot. Now they're gonna play for Sano all the way in the back. Everybody's just gonna peel for him. Everybody's gonna open Troll with the conceal.
Oh, Troll going in. Forces out the Crimson Peak and then the burst on CS. This is crazy. Was that a Sky Piercer even? I'm not entirely sure anymore.
It was.
So Cuffin at this point is a very terrifying player on the side of Team Falcons Mena. They also still have a Lord Marching and Kelvin.
Oh no.
All he can do is just attempt to go for a cut, but he is being dealt with by Sanji.
I don't know how Sanji became an XP laner from a mid laner, but Sanji's doing it in a 1v1 against Kelvin. Who wins it?
Oh, Mountain Shocker already used. He's pretty low on HP now.
Oh my
He'll
god.
settle with the orange buff, but there's Troll already spotting it out. I think we all know how this is gonna end. The Traceless, he didn't get out of that wall too.
Oh, Kelvin!
He's still trying to survive. In between turns though, and with Sano there, I don't think it's possible for him to survive.
It was a valiant attempt. Yes, it wasn't possible, but it's all about delaying, right? It's all about buying time for space on the map. CS gets some space, but unfortunately he's on a Paquito that doesn't really scale too well. And Troll, oh god, he's already got the read on, and CS cancels the recall.
Okay, CS. Oh, that is not your side of the map. He gets caught under the golden art, gets to take down the turret before he does. And Sano's now on a killing spree. This is a Paquito who I feel like is just really having to sacrifice himself every time he wants to go for something. It's 0-4 on a lethal ignition and a damage build too.
And the 12-minute hits the clock. That says, or that means, goodbye to the Holy Shields. Falcons Mena are just gonna look to go for the siege without the Lord. Minas Fury!
Okay, knocks up 4 members, but Cuffin responds with a Mystic Gush. Diablo couldn't catch anyone with that Detona's welcome. At least they defend the base turret, but they had to lose Diablo in the process too and his flicker, so Falcons Mena still win it out there.
Oh god, it gets from bad to worse. Falcons Mena again just sieging it down, but there's literally nothing IG can do. Diablo tried his best. Now Sanji on Uranus. Oh my god, it's Troll getting frozen moments as well. Look at that poke on Roy with just a projectile. It's so difficult if you're IG, because you look at this composition and you have to bring up the point that I made earlier.
Yeah.
No clear. They have horrible clear. If waves are gonna come in with the Lord, who's gonna try to actually get through the minions?
That's why it seems like they have to sacrifice at least one member from their side if they just want to guarantee that Falcons Mena will not have an easy time going for the siege. It's either CS, it's either Kelvin, and I'm not sure who you really want to put out there at this point, because you'd really want all your resources to be there when you go for the defense, because again, it's not enough. Now Falcons Mena with a 5k goal lead just really secured this Lord, and CS isn't even able to push that wave up top as much. You can't really put yourself in a very dangerous position, not at this point where Falcons Mena are just moments away from another Lord Siege.
I mean, you can't, right? I mean, you got that PTSD as well, a bit of trauma. Last time he tried to clear up top, it went really bad. He had to die for the 4th time in the game. He doesn't want to increase those deaths, not to 5. Although, there might be a case to be made that, he needs 7 to get a power spike. Who knows? Maybe the BBB special. And not on a Paquito. Maybe on that Minotaur. Diablo!
Troll getting the stun. It's Diablo. They're bursting down right now. Not even with its own is welcome. Will they find anything? IG just lose one of their frontliners, and now they have to deal with a Lord and multiple waves. Roy, Jay, what can they do? There goes the heavy spin from Boyet. The knockout from the Minoan Fury and the Golden R onto Roy once again. But the burst! The burst coming from Sano, and he's still alive. CS trying to push them back, but it's not gonna work as Team Falcons Mena secure this game.
By the...
Oh,
Wait a second. So Barat's jungle,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah. So kind of like a jungle barrage, they send the Paquito to the EXP lane. Alright, let's see how this is gonna work.
Let's roam.
I still have a lot of questions for it, but let's see.
Wow.
What is the final switch around?
This will be interesting here.
Yeah, it is looking like, jungle barracks, EXP Paquito.
Well,
Thoughts from her?
It doesn't
Final
cease
thoughts?
to surprise us here, guys. We've got a second game coming up here in our final series of the day. If they take 2 in a row, Team Falcons Mena is going to close this one out and move on. They'll face their Falcons teammates, or not teammates, but I guess organizational mates in a win. And if they lose, well, we'll send it to a game 3. Let's get game 2 started here and send it back over to your casters.
Thank you, mates, on the panel, man. I love them, this panel. T-Rex, Raptor, Rainy Man. I'm joking. Welcome to the Land of Dawn, folks. It could be the end of the road for one of these teams, and right now it's looking like it's going to be IG.
The Melissa, who, at least based on today's showing, has been a phenomenal gold lane pickup, but it was more into the Fanny and the likes of the more dive type comps, which I don't think Falcons Men are that far away from, but they're more fighter than assassin type of compositions too. So you could expect them to stay much longer in the team fights if things go their way. Well, right now, IG, let's see how it goes and let's see how they manage this lane.
Quick emblem check as we get into game number 2 in the Land of Dawn. Wilderness Blessing for Troll. In a world where we see a lot of pull yourself together just to try to get more flickers out there, Troll decides, no, I want to get the movement, and it's the same for Cuffin. So they're expecting to win here in the mid lane, trying to rotate around. Perfect match on Roy.
Yep, that's a very aggressive start, and I think it will be a lot of help to Boyet, who, again, we are so used to seeing with a Mathilda, but now it's going to be on his own. But the fact that you have a mid duo who is just so reliable in terms of mobility and just fast moving around the map, I feel would make things a bit more easier for him this time around. So at least we're seeing a not so action-packed start just yet for IG. They're still able to accomplish what they want in terms of the lanes. But how are they able to allow Kelvin be involved? I don't think we saw Kelvin as involved earlier on, but that's because he was on Isun Shin. This time should be pretty different because he's already on Herrera.
The thing is, though, they are playing, again, as you mentioned, very, very slow. This isn't really what the composition is meant to do, right? With the Herrera as well, they kind of need to go a little bit faster. Boyet's got level 4.
Yeah.
Not as far as Kelvin. Kelvin might actually get level 5 here. But no, he's going to give the XP crab over to Diablo. Going to try to get that secure onto the neutral objective. Roy's going to get level 4 as well, but Cuffin and Boyet gets tempo. There you go. Diablo first to 4. Troll.
Okay, they're not going to go for Troll just yet. They get to spot out where Kelvin was actually trying to hide. Diablo now all alone. Up against 3 Gleams. Not Gleams out. And is now 1 HP away from going down. Kuffin actually steals away the Throne of Ruin, but they're still gonna go and re-engage. Their Vitalize is already committed, and there you go! Throne of Ruin onto 2 coming in from Diablo, but it's still Boyet! Winning out onto Retribution, picking up first blood onto Kelvin, and now Jay falls next!
They go for the neutral objective fight against the utility jungle. They had tempo, but they didn't utilize it. Falcons Mena are soaring in the skies. Turtle number 1, a complete win for the Falcons, and a big double for Boyet on the Barats, bro.
And what happens now? Because we were really looking forward to see IG at least win it out on the sides, but this is going to heavily impact what happens from this point onwards in terms of their early game, because you see the setup, you see the attention coming in from IG, and it looked great. It looked great for Diablo, but the fact that it was just such a great response as well from Team Falcons Mena, and they were too tanky as well. There wasn't enough burst. Kelvin having to fall down too just did not look great for IG.
IG are just so awkward in that skirmish earlier. You know, they got the prio up top, they got the tempo as well. Diablo got XP crap, and now it's gonna be Sanji with a jump on Kelvin. No one there to help him out though.
Don't tell me it's gonna be a solo kill. It's actually gonna be a solo kill, and a flicker just to get out of that dangerous position. Sanji on a 2-0-2 Paquito, clearly winning it out against Diablo in the lane right now.
Sokolil, and it's Sanji on the Paquito against the Hirara in her own jungle. We were talking about that earlier, the Paquito should, oh god, he wants to do it again. This time Diablo is going to be there to shoo him away, but this could still be good for Falcons Mena as Boyet's going to walk up.
Okay, he doesn't steal away that jungle creep though, at least for them, but man, when is Kelvin just going to be able to play? The Sun Shin game didn't work out for him. Now on a Hirara, he's 0-2, and that just slows things down even further. We wanted them to pick up the pace. We wanted them to be as more aggressive, but Falcons Mena now on a utility jungler, now with a hyperactive XP lane. There's just not much you can do.
And now it's just Falcons Mena doing exactly what they did in game number 1. After getting the initial lead, they just play it slow. Diablo just used Throne of Ruin to survive against Sanji. And it's still Sanji who wins it out in that skirmish. So down below, they're going to go for the turret.
They're losing this tier 1. Now the Fatal Links onto a single member, and that's going to be Jay.
Oh.
They don't care if they just find one. They already have what it takes to burst down even one of the tankiest members of IG. And now both sides seem to be in favor of Falcons Mena already.
Oh my god, Roy!
Oh no, Roy, Crimson Beacon out. No Fatal Links for Troll. He is still gonna try and defend this, but is it gonna be worth it? There is gonna be the muddles from CS, but the damage is just not enough threat for Falcons Mena to get away.
What do you do at this point? Boyet's gonna try to steal this away, but the Hirara is nowhere near. It's a retreat from Boyet. And Kelvin's gonna be very careful. Troll's already on the perfect match. Boyet's gonna figure it out. Uh-oh, Kelvin!
Oh, this is a running Atlas.
Whoa.
He's moving so fast. Kelvin, can he get out of this? There are still flickers in their
Look at
hands.
Sanji.
Kufin, Sanji, the wraparound. Oh no, Kelvin dashing out with the flicker. Oh, iframes were close to saving him there, but Sanji says no.
Nope. A flicker to take him out. Sano picking up the 3rd tier 1 in this game. He's had a hand in all the turret takes so far. It's all about sieging with Sheriff Sano. Troll again just opening up for Sano to have such an easy way through these turrets. And again, it's Cuffin on the Valentina this time around, providing that peel as well. It's just so difficult now for IG. They have a combo, that AoE with the Throne of Ruin and the AOG. But there's just no damage. Sanji in the bottom lane, picking up his own turret as well. They're just taking turrets left and right. Orange buff stolen as well.
Yeah, honestly, this AoE looks very promising for IG on paper. You mentioned the Throne of Ruin, you mentioned the AoG, but you could also pair it up with muddles from CS, honestly. But again, you don't see them synced up. You don't see them really coordinating the team fights. You also saw Diablo earlier on just using the Throne of Ruin all by himself. It's more on a one-on-one scenario rather than the Alice being a part of the fights, but they probably can't even afford to take on any fights at this point. They still have to catch up. It's a 6k gold lead. They're about to lose on more, but they're still gonna set it up nonetheless. Throne of Ruin coming in from Diablo, and now IG are gonna fight and clap back. Roy going in the Crimson Beacon. Boyet left all alone, and this isolated pickup might be the start. But then, Sanji, the damage does he have?
No way.
Was it enough? He did not expect this amount of pressure from IG2. That's 4 members he tried to take on all by himself.
They got a shutdown and a kill on Boyet as well. And finally, the combo lands. Throne of Ruin into the AOG, into Kelvin with the AoE as well. And everything, when it lands perfectly, works out. The thing is, there's still a big problem. Falcons Mena, with all the lead that they've been able to get, it wasn't through kills. Yes, Sanji got shut down, but nobody else on this lineup has a bounty on them, right? So you look at the gold lead, it went from 7k to 5k. Usually it would be a massive turnaround, but this time it was different. It started off with that crazy Throne of Ruin with the AOG combo, but again, Falcons Mena were just that ahead. That's why Sanji and Boyet were able to buy enough time for the rest of the team to escape. Now Falcons Mena, they're definitely going to learn from that mistake, and they're definitely just going to play around the neutral objectives and get this. they won't stick together as much.
Yeah, I even feel like that engage from Sanji would have been a huge punish if only the lead was a bit smaller. But since Falcons Mena are this much ahead, I don't think it really hurt them that much. They still have the control. They are still the ones dictating the pace of the game. But now you have to acknowledge the fact that IG can still go for those plays.
Corrosion, Scythe, and DHS. It was CS who got them the shutdown on Sanji earlier. So it really comes down to CS getting those item power spikes. We saw just how good Iman could be on the Melissa. This could be an Iman-ish game for CS. But the whole team's gonna have to play around him. And Kelvin right now, not in a good position, especially after missing those 2 dashes across the wall.
I mean, honestly...
Hey, Sanji.
Oh.
Hey, he went back.
Okay, Kelvin's gonna spot him here. Crimson Beacon in, and now he is just gonna be bursted down, knocked up as well with the Lantern Flare, and he will just have to accept that. But I think Falcons Mena will make it worthwhile. They will have the Lord in their hands, and immediately after that, they find Diablo to bring him under the turret. Throne of Ruin just cast it alongside the flicker, but the AOG from Jay! Counter AOG from Cuffin with the IMU! And there is a Daytona's welcome possibly coming through. They're gonna catch Jay, they're gonna put him back, and now they will find more. It's Sano picking up kills after kills.
Cuffin!
But Cuffin dashing in! 2-man Terrify! And Falcons Mena finally disengage.
It was a valiant attempt from IG. Again, though, they just get overconfident, I guess, with the lead that they got, man. They were able to get an initial pick down below. With Sanji down, they thought the 4v5 could work, but then Diablo just took too much of a beating. And he had to use a Throne of Ruin, miscoordinated by Jay. He thought it was gonna go in. The AOG went wide, and then Cuffin responded with an AOG by himself. Literally, Cuffin the IG boys.
Okay, it's a concealed play. Already committed here by Team Falcons Mena. But Diablo is still gonna go in, doesn't catch anyone!
Oh no.
But the AOG does catch two. Sano though with a free hit is gonna land a couple bullets onto Jay. And they now find one. It's a trade, a 1-for-1 so far, but IG get to defend their base turret.
They still got waves though. That was only the first wave with the Lord. Now Roy's gonna have to defend. Sano, Sheriff Man, he's taking a lot of damage also.
Oh, that's a flicker forced out. Falcons Mena are not gonna force this anymore. The fact that Diablo's still there too, and CS is just very active with the defense. It's probably not the best, but it's better. I feel like IG right now have better ways to rely on when they have or they are forced to play defensive, but they're forced to just clear the waves.
Would love to take a look at the items right now, man. Damage dealt, it's Cuffin and Sanji who are leading the pack, not even Sano. And no wonder. Sanji's just going full damage to Hunter-Strike. Sea Halberd into the War Axe. All right, for the Valentina, Cuffin, it's just a glowing one on Bloodwings. You wouldn't expect that guy to be doing the most damage, but now makes a lot of sense. If we got the Lightning Truncheon earlier, then my lord, these guys on IG would just be completely bursted down to the ground, man.
Yeah.
Also, Sano, 20 stacks in the Sky Piercer, I believe.
Yep.
On the way to a BOD, a Blade of Despair. This is just rough. When a 2,000 gold lead forms around your XP, you know it's kind of chopped.
And you saw how the damage from Sano is really starting to pierce through. IG, Diablo, I think, is always the one who has to put himself up front, but even Diablo is just struggling to stand for any longer than maybe 2 or 3 shots from Sano at this point, considering the amount of damage that he's already accumulated, on top of the fact that his Sky Piercer already does have 20 stacks. So Falcons Mena, they barely have to change anything and adjust anything. It's just them having to take this step by step, because IG at this point, there's just too much that they have to get back from.
CS is up top. This is very good for Falcons Mena. Melissa isn't really known to be mobile. And guess what? They didn't even deal with the slow push here, so he's gonna have to stay up there for a bit longer. Visible again, but the Lord gets reset by Falcons Mena. They want to play the long game here, so it's back to resetting the Lord, pushing up top with Sanji. IG somehow gonna look for a pick-off here, and I think the right way is grouping up for the neutral objective or going for the pick-off onto Sanji. They're trying to do that right now. I mean, CS got it, but Sanji just walks away. What?
The go away committed too?
Guys?
I don't think there was a need for that to happen. Kelvin trying to help as well, and they might just successfully find the pick-up onto Sanji, because he did kind of get an off-angle punch right there. But that's in exchange of the Lord. So IG, they willingly walked into that.
Yes, they did. To be fair, I really feel like at that point it was already very honest from IG. It looked like, okay, we're not gonna throw the ruin.
Oh, this is honest too. Diablo going in, but the response with the tone is welcome, and now he's just back. And another AOG from Cuffin. The IMU working wonders together with the Fatal Links. It's a double kill now for Sano, and Boyet just finds one more. Kelvin, what can you do? Roy is just too low, and it's just IG scrambling to get back to their base.
Brother, the AOG was used on Sanji up top. That was literally, it just happened. But they went in for the Throne of Ruin with no AOG under tier 1 and tier 2. Oh my god.
Oh my god. We are starting to run out of words.
Blue team
In this game, 15 minutes almost in, and it's just Falcons Mena still with this really big lead. Kelvin nearly getting caught there. Oh, Crimson Beacon in from Roy. Now they're on to Sano. They'll find and shut down the gold laner of Falcons Mena.
Falcons Mena capitalize on a mistake. IG says we can do it as well. Yet again, staying afloat with a pickoff on Sano. A shutdown as well. A way to cut down on those Sky Piercer stacks. Again, we see the set. But it's like, bro, the AOG was literally just used earlier. And it's like, dang, it's under tier 2 and tier 1 with it not even being there, and it just baits everybody in. By everybody, I mean it baits its own team in. Yeah. Valid reaction. Valid reaction.
Okay. That was a slow-mo. That was a slow-mo.
Oh, God.
And they clear punish from Falcons Mena, earning them an additional base turret and more map control. But IG, at least you, well, saw that just now. They found the kill on Sano, and they found a tier 1 in mid. That's the second turret they've been able to take down in this game. 15 minutes in. So maybe there are still some signs of hope, because you actually see them moving out of their map a bit more now.
Dude, I'm just so impressed right now. Such an interesting game so far. Take a look at the equipment real quick. Wind of Nature can be built up by CS. Wind of Nature already for Sano. It's a Winter Crown for Boyet. All right, so he's going to have a lot more to say here as he dives in forward. Not too much at risk when he dives in, as CS won't really be able to get those hits in. But the thing is, for me, Diablo hasn't gone Winter Crown.
Yeah.
Being the main guy to initiate and literally the first one in, I really thought the Winter Crown would be built on Diablo by now.
Yeah, and it's you see it on Boyet, and now Sano. Oh, is he changing his item? I think he is. He initially had a Wind of Nature, and now he went for Winter Crown. Instead, Jay finds the taunt onto Cuffin, forces out the Crimson Beacon, which he stole. But Sanji's gonna come in from the side, and there goes Diablo! There goes the Winter Crown as well, coming in from Boyet, but the damage from IG seems to be enough. Now it's gonna be the Hirara, finding kills here and there. But Sanji has waves! He has 2 minions alongside him in minutes. Falcons Mena are not letting IG get back to base, but Kelvin fortunately find his way back, and IG find more as they take down Troll.
1v1 up top, it's 1v1 right now. Sanji tries to go for the kill on Kelvin. Lord in the bottom lane already there, Boyet. Let's see if he can steal this one with Kelvin up top, and 1v1 against Sanji walks up. Immortality for Kelvin.
Okay. Boyet is here to try and contest. The tone is welcome, not being charged just yet, and he finally does use it on one. That's going to be the Winter Crown as well, but the Throne of Good from Diablo! Boyet is taken down, and Sanji from the backlines gets caught in the AOG! A counter from Cuffin, but now he is all alone. He finds the kill on Diablo, but CS takes him down too!
But wait, Sano's here! Hero play from Sano, can he steal the Lord? No, he can't. All right. Waves dealt with by Roy. IG pull up a crazy teamfight win in a brutally chaotic brawl. Oh my goodness, they put the Ignite on Falcons Mena. Falcons couldn't react, man. Yep. The heat was brought in, and it started with IG doing... Okay, it started with Falcons Mena ulting everywhere. That's where it started, actually. There you go. Cuffin gets caught by Jay. There you go. I'm starting to remember now.
Okay.
But in this skirmish, man, it was just Boyet just trying desperately to get back into that pit.
Yep.
But unfortunately, couldn't get in. Sanji tried to go in. He forgot about the go away. So Melissa's ult, right? Bring it up. It's a sphere, you can't get in. Yeah.
Yeah.
In case you don't know. You know?
So, I don't know anymore, because it's a 2.9k or 3k gold lead now in the hands of IG. It initially wasn't like this. It was Falcons Mena leading massively, but now they're pushed to a corner. It's IG trying to charge in the base. And CS, you could already start to feel the damage. Boyan is already being shredded down to pieces. Sanji picks up an Immortality, gets bursted down! Immortality just bought it, now it's popped and he has to fall!
Falcons Mena, one man down. Still some waves available for IG. Trying to keep their tournament lives still in. Fatal Legs from Troll.
Fatal's onto 2, popping Immortality for Jay. Jay gets still caught and trapped under the turret, and Sano finds another stack. But they're gonna lose another base turret too.
Oh, yes.
Kelvin jumping in. Turn of Ruin from Diablo and the Crimson Beacon in from Roy. They're fighting it under the base, but IG somewhat have damage, but they are not able to catch Sano. Sano still able to deal damage. Kelvin dashing in. And they still have waves incoming!
Uh-oh. Wave down below as well. They're gonna go all in. It's Kelvin in the back. Rose gold medium for Sano.
Sano still survives. Sano finds the kill on Kelvin! But can he deal with the waves? He cannot! IG are bringing us to a game number 3!
Oh, how do we feel about Hayabusa for Ignite here?
Not bad actually.
Honestly.
Yeah. It evens things out. This makes it really demanding for Boyd though, like to answer Rainday's question. The Valentina and everything mentioned also. Ooh, and Lancelot.
Wow.
That's another unique
Add some
hero.
unique picks, baby.
Yeah, Lancelot making a comeback here. Yeah, the Lancelot into the Harley, of course. That was one of the answers. Not gonna lie, Ignite might have actually crawled back for this.
They feel good. They look confident.
Yeah.
See Troll there bouncing up and down.
I'm feeling a little bit more Ignite here, but it's more a question of how the Alice and Uranus handle their game in the map.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mena, Team Falcons, and Ignite Gaming in their final game of a best of 3. One team going on to continue their dream for an MSC championship. One team going home. Let's send it back to your casters, Mirgita, to finish it off.
Hey, thank you so much, panel. It is Mirgita, the combo right now, to bring you this elimination match. Earlier, there were a few lives still, you know? It was one game after another. It was the equalization, but now it's the climax. One team's got to go. The other team's got to make it past this stage. IG or Falcons Mena.
Yep, and it's gonna be very devastating for Falcons Mena if it is indeed true, because the panel are starting to feel like IG might have actually found a way to get that reverse sweep because of the nature of this draft, which is looking to favor them in a lot of aspects, Mirko.
I love the Lancelot pick, man. When you are not comfortable on the Fanny, Ling and Hirara's banned away from you, you gotta find some creative moves, man. And Falcons Mena are really trying to like choke Kelvin's hero pool down with the Harley pick as well. They denied everything away from him, so it only makes sense that he goes into the next best thing, which is probably a Lancelot. Yeah, like a lot of people were thinking Hayabusa maybe. We saw what the Lee Sin-shin is able to do both times. 0% win rate right now on the MSC stage.
Cool though. CS went pull yourself together too on the Melissa. So I feel like they're also starting to just anticipate the amount of pressure that they'll have to break free from. In terms of Falcons Mena's lineup, that's a lot of stuns, honestly, that could just go for you. And it's not just stuns, honestly, that you have to worry about. I think one of the differences between the Melissa games we've seen earlier and this that we're seeing now is that there's just really so much burst that's directed towards you. So I feel like so much attention will be put towards the bottom lane, and even the matchup, it's already established and put there to manage and deal with the Melissa overall. So Falcons Mena, I think that's one of the ways they're really planning to go around this game, at least in the early stages.
XP crap battle though, it will be Sanji who picks it up. That means tempo for Falcons Mena. Troll in the mid lane against Roy. That's Boyan as well.
Flicker already burned by the mid duo for IG, so this is a pretty great start for Falcons Mena, honestly. Sanji all alone, already being enough to zone out multiple members. Throne of Ruin from Diablo doesn't connect, and now Stroll's gonna go back in. Cuffin gets the last hit on the objective, whereas Sanji's just trying to go in for the chase. Kelvin might survive this deadly magic though. And so IG don't lose out on much, but they don't get the objective.
And it's Falcons Mena with a very similar start to Game 1 and Game 2, despite having a completely different composition, right? Game 1, Game 2 was all about the objectives with the utility jungles, Barats and Akai respectively. Now with the Harley, it's still control over it. The team just knows they got that muscle memory on how to play the first neutral objective. Sanji with the instant prio after securing XP grab. Boyeto on the Harley. Something we did get to see in the wildcard as well, now really abusing the fact that he can actually walk up and invade, unlike on the Akai.
Ooh, he gets trapped here, but will use the deadly magic on Diablo. Doesn't want to stay there and just fall down without getting anything. And now the bad execution! He goes back with a space escape, but Jay was there. He was ready to answer back.
What a catch, the wall placed by Jay, and then the tech charge. A big swing with a concussive blast, yeah. At least he was fast enough to clear the jungle this time, right? Unlike the Akai, but it's just unlucky because Jay was able to catch him on his tracks back into his own jungle. So IG able to find something back. That is a fatal links on Jay.
On Jay.
With a flicker too.
Yeah, that's a key word. It's on Jay, so that's big info for IG. They know that the Fatal Links and both the Flicker are down for Troll, so for this upcoming fight, there might be a bit more leeway for them to just move around and establish their presence. And again, they're on the Lancelot too, so I feel like they should be a bit more confident in terms of just picking up these objectives and fighting for it. But let's see how it goes with Falcons Mena at this point. Despite what happened just now, I feel like they will be getting the Fatal Link soon too. And they pretty much set up for this. Look at just how Sanji has been cutting the waves in the base of IG.
Classic Sanji. He was trying to do this on the Paquito, but he got punished for it now on the Uranus. Perfect time to do it. Sano, though, waiting in the bush on the Clint.
Yeah, Troll's just walking through everyone, and it's not looking good. IG are just really going to take this objective. Tech charge doesn't connect onto anyone. There goes the Throne of Ruin, but now they find three. But the counter setup from Roy all over again. But the damage, it seems to be working out for Team Falcons Mena. Boyet, as well as Sano, seem a bit too reliable as CS is the next target. It's a double kill for Sanji.
Big win for Falcons Mena. For the first time, it's IG were actually able to get the neutral objective, but Falcons Mena take the fight. They even take the orange. No, Kelvin's still able to secure it, but Sanji's going to walk down on him.
Yeah, and it's very fast conversion. They don't want to waste time. Now they finally will take that tier 1 in mid, and even that tier 1 down bottom. Kelvin is not having a great time, though. He is not really taking his very own jungle caps.
And it's the same story in the early game. Falcons Mena are just the better team at converting on objectives and playing around these team fights early. It's just somehow in that game number 2, they completely forgot about their win conditions and they played around IG's win con of just sticking together, which is something that IG can still do right now with the Alice and the Grok. But it's something that Falcons Mena will definitely be eyeing out for this time around, right?
Yep.
Fool me once. Wait, hold on, Troll.
Okay, you're gonna spot out CS, forcing out to go away. The ultimate already casted 2 for Cuffin, but do they use the Fatal Links? No, it's actually IG using it first, and there goes the counter.
Oh my
but
God.
CS, he's just dealing the free hits. They're actually able to find Cuffin in the process, and it's just the mid lanes traded out.
It's a 1-for-1 that's actually... Oh, if Sano gets caught by the wall there, then it won't be bad for Falcons Mena. It won't be good for Falcons Mena, but still pretty good trade for them. Kelvin doing a good job here. Counter jungling and invading whenever he gets the opportunity to, right?
Yeah.
It's the only way right now to keep that gold lead from getting too crazy.
It's exactly the same. It's almost exactly the same from what happened and transpired in game number 2, where it's Falcons Mena taking charge and then IG just forced to find trades, mostly through Kelvin and his presence across the map, and the fact that there's also an Alice, so I cannot but think that IG are just really waiting out for CS maybe.
Troll?
But Troll decides to go in. That's 2 tanky members standing in front of him. They're not going to go for the setup just yet, but yeah, if there's anything I really want to see change for IG, and if they're waiting for that timers, hopefully CS doesn't really panic click on buttons. I think we saw it a couple times even in game number 2, and even just now the go away being forced out quite early. Because Eman, you saw him earlier. That was such a patient way of playing the Melissa. So Falcons Mena, now that they're in this lead, IG have to be very particular with timings.
Here's the thing with Melissa, right? It's like, all right, it's a great pick. You can play around it. You can farm and just scale all game long until you get your power spike. But it requires a team to play around you. I think that's the thing that IG, if you don't haven't been doing in the early game. They haven't been playing towards this Melissa. CS has kind of been an independent Melissa all throughout this game, unlike Vitality when they played it with Eman. So, again for IG, it's all about playing with your winning condition, right? With the Valentina, Alice, and Brock, it really is a composition to just enable Melissa, CS on the Melissa. Kelvin can do his own thing in the back, but everybody else needs to peel for CS.
Because honestly, even if you hand over, let's say, the Fatal Links to Roy, that works too. If you're just really planning to play around CS, setting up for CS, and you have multiple ways to just catch these opponents because they're not on Purifies. Diablo used the Throne of Ruin right there. So they will not have it for a while.
Yeah, they still want to defend this? Okay, gets away with the blink. Why did they use the Throne of Ruin there?
It was in a bush, so maybe they were considering going for an engage, but it was just troll that they saw, so maybe they'd rather not, because you never really know if there was anyone else from Team Falcons Mena just waiting to follow up and go in for the bait. So IG, I think it's true enough. They're really being careful about this. They're playing from behind. This is nothing new to them, but we have an objective of coming, so they can't afford to lose out on more.
And look at the way Falcons Mena this time have been able to manage the wave up top, far lane control as they play this Lord Dance. And this time, Sanji won't be making the same mistakes as that game number 2. He won't overstay in that side lane to get picked off. He's on a Uranus as well, has a flicker. So if he gets picked off now, that's on him.
Yeah. He is just going to stick with the team. He is going to go for the zone, and they have enough info on where IG currently are, but it's Jay and Diablo waiting for a potential entrance? Looking for an angle.
It's a 3-level lead between Sanji and Diablo. Sanji's been cutting these waves, and Diablo hasn't really been farming up. That wave up top is still looking good for Falcons Mena.
I think there's too much pressure on Diablo to set things up for his team. It's almost as if he barely could split up his attention between farming and just finding the right entries. But speaking of entries, it's actually Falcons Mena who go in first. CS doesn't get caught though. Jay already looking very, very low. Sano with the reposition, actually popping the immortality. Now they lose one. Jay is down for IG. They lose one of their engages.
And now it's up to Sanji to actually just... Diablo?
Oh, Diablo goes right in. Even after they just lost a member, they find Cuffin in the process. I think that's going to be a trade they will settle for. And now CS looking at a target for Sanji. Kelvin trying to hold the objective, but IG are low.
Seal.
They don't have full HP. Now it's Joe just going to go for the charge, and Diablo looking like the next target. Sano picks up the kill. And Falcons have this Lord all to themselves.
All that time used by Falcons Mena to bait IG into the skirmish while the wave was pushing up top. That's a free tier 2 as Kelvin desperately tries to go in. Fatal Links!
Gets caught. Thorn Rose tries to immune himself. And the Phantom Execution Retry steals away the objective from Falcons Mena in exchange of Jay.
Ignite Gaming has to get Kelvin. Book him a chiropractor session, man, because Kelvin's been winning these retries. He's been constantly carrying this team on his back, even yesterday in the loss. What a steal again to save the game, to delay it even further. Even last game on the Hirara, you know, a real, oh god, yeah. Valid crash out in the back rooms there for Falcons Mena.
Yep.
But Kelvin, even earlier in game number 2 on the Hirara, constantly farming, invading the jungle, keeping that gold lead from getting too crazy. Now he has a path to get that lead on Falcons Mena. He's the only member on the team who's ahead.
He's ahead of Boyet, and Boyet, by the way, used the Retribution earlier too. It was just much more accurate for Kelvin in that particular instance, which gave them at least a bit more room to breathe. And not Falcons Mena just knocking on their base or potentially taking out some holy shields and base turrets here and there. So they're keeping it close, but this is still a very significant lead in the hands of Falcons Mena in all lanes specifically. And on top of the fact that, again, Diablo, he's still on a level gap against Sanji. So you see how IG are just forced to play together, and Falcons, I feel, are taking advantage of that. You see it in the way they're starting to manage the waves a bit more.
So for IG, it's about clearing. Last time I saw Lancelot and the Melissa on the same team, it don't matter how many lords you get, they'll still be able to come back somehow with hero plays. And so far, we've been seeing exactly that. CS managing the waves, Kelvin making those hero plays happen for the team. And Falcons Mena desperately looking for the closeout.
How do we get to that point? Earlier, it felt like there were a couple times they forced it too, so they probably learned from that. They don't want to risk it too much against this composition from IG, where you could just expect multiple layers of counter-engage to come in. Just a single mistake is what it takes for IG to potentially turn things around, I feel. Because again, it's also been Roy holding on to the Fatal Links. You also have to consider the fact that Jay might go in for a tech charge. And that CS is gradually scaling up, but Jay and Roy...
God, Boyan, they know where he's at.
Oh, Boyan! Space escape out of there! And now they have to deal with the waves up top as IG scramble to get away because Falcons men are going in for the chase troll. Diablo going in as well. They find multiple members from IG! And that was the moment they've been waiting for. Boyan going in, trying to go for CS. The flickers from Saji, a triple for Sano! And a potential wipeout coming through. There you have it! Falcons Mena! They take out every single member of IG!
The moment Troll stops trolling, he gets a massive set. IG, they thought they had Boyet, but Boyet was playing a game. He knew where IG were, he reacted to it. Falcons Mena are gonna move over as they eliminate IG from MSC and EWC 2026.